was my apartment in Ukraine. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I heard explosions.
A year ago, I was in Ukraine, in Rivne. It's the city in the west of Ukraine.
When the war started a year ago, I first was in Ukraine as I am now, but then my family moved to Poland.
Yeah, I had just regular life. I was studying, participating in some competitions and getting ready to my birthday that was supposed to that was on February 26th, but then I had to sleep in bathroom in my birthday, so it was unforgettable experience.
I woke up when I have realized that the war started.
On February 24th, 2022, Russian forces attacked Ukraine, a major escalation of Russia's aggression against its neighbor. Over the past year, at least 1,800 schools have been seriously damaged or destroyed by Russian shelling and bombing, according to a Save the Children report, forcing Ukrainians across the country to put their education on hold. Tanya Kotelnykova was a student in Kiev when the war started. She recently moved to the United States after receiving a scholarship for displaced students from Columbia University. Here in New York City, she created the Mentor Ukraine program to support students like herself hoping to continue their education abroad.
The mentorship program connects students from Columbia University and students from Ukraine or school children from Ukraine who want to study outside of Ukraine. The program provides them help with the application process, writing personal statements, CVs, other documents as well. Also, mentors support and motivate their mentees from Ukraine. At the same time, I invite some guests from the university, famous people from Ukraine, who inspire and motivate the participants of my program. I believe that this multidimensional approach may really help them to achieve their goals, and to be more successful despite of the war.
I can't say I ever planned to study abroad because I always planned to study in Ukraine, in Kiev particularly, but then everything happened and my whole life is a bit upside down. Yeah.
This is Antonina, a high school student in the Lviv region in the western part of Ukraine. She is currently in the process of applying to American universities.
A lot of people are considering going to study abroad because because we all know the situation and we know that we can't rely on those stability because we have no stability.
For Ukrainian teenagers, this moment is particularly difficult in Ukraine right now because it's really hard to see a future for yourself in a country that is actively being attacked and destroyed. Depending on where you're from, your home may actually have been destroyed. And knowing that you can build a future somewhere else, even if it's temporary, even if you plan to go back to Ukraine when Ukraine wins and is free and everything's over, just knowing that there are options for you to continue your education, to continue growing, developing, where you will be safe. I think it's a big deal for families as well, to know that your child is studying in the United States, not only where they'll get a great education, but where they will be safe.
As Russian forces have destabilized the country's power sources with airstrikes, young Ukrainians have been forced to adapt to yet another obstacle: long, almost daily power outages.
We really had no electricity for hours and sometimes we had shortages for maybe 10 hours per day or more. And it was really hard because it was also time of application deadlines. So I was really stressed about that because I couldn't contact my mentor and my laptop was always low on charge. So yeah, it was usually hard.
It was pretty intense period, especially taking into consideration that there were blackouts and sometimes I didn't have electricity for 12 hours per day. So I was just like an electricity hunter in my city. I was walking and looking for cafes where they have a generator so I could stay there and write my application.
Ukrainian reality.
Svetlana is one of Mentor Ukraine's first success stories. After working with one of the program's mentors, she received a scholarship to come to the United States and study at the University of Connecticut.
I had to go by bus to Warsaw as the sky is closed over Ukraine. And yeah, it was my first time flying. And I was a little bit scared because I was going by myself alone, but I'm proud of me that I managed it and that I figured everything out. So yes, and that's how I came here.
Currently, I have 247 applications from Ukrainians. Currently, we work with approximately 100 people. Other people are going to apply for the next year, so I'm going to give mentors for them in spring or summer to have more time to prepare their applications. So one of the challenges I have in this program is that I don't have enough mentors. I have a lot of applications from Ukrainians, but I don't have so many mentors here. It's still difficult for me to engage mentors.
I think that the long-term impact of a Mentor Ukraine is that many of the Ukrainian students that are coming here now to the United States to study will return to Ukraine. I know many of them have every intention of returning to Ukraine once the war is over, even once they finish their studies before the war is over, to help Ukraine grow and develop and become a better place. So I think that has an enormous impact.
After I finish university, I would like to work for international organizations and help Ukraine as much as I can, because really I think that helping Ukraine and spreading the knowledge about Ukraine, about Ukrainian culture, about Ukrainian people is my mission for life.
From the perspective of human rights, I guess that I can be useful later in the future during the process of bringing the people that have to be responsible and bringing Russians for the responsibility for what they done in Ukraine and for the crimes they committed in Ukraine.
If you want to help Ukraine, you can start by helping one young Ukrainian who will later rebuild Ukraine. And this program provides only one meeting per week. It's not too much, but this meeting can really change someone's life, can inspire and motivate. So I believe that Mentor Ukraine is the program which creates a future generation of Ukrainians. And by helping Ukrainians now, by helping young Ukrainians especially, we are helping the future generation of Ukraine, because young people will rebuild Ukraine later. And I think it's a very important task now.